look at this. Aleister Crowley. Beam. We will see how powerful you really are. All you need to do is break the beam. I challenge you to do that. Can you do it? Do you have the power to do that? Stop your recording. No, not done it.
Do you have the power to do that? Stop your recording.
Something is there.
Great, now tune back next week to hear nothing again. Like, what the? How insane would it be if that was his real head? Smack it and see what happens. What up, my good people, and welcome back for a brand new episode. For this episode, we're about to kick back and watch creepy and bizarre TikToks. Fair warning, but some of these TikToks might have you sitting back in your chair like, no way. Oh man, what in the...
Now listen to these strange booms that sound almost from another planet. It could be a sonic boom from a fighter jet breaking the sound barrier. Another possibility, a meteor. This home security camera in Bridgewater, New Jersey actually caught the flash and then the sound of a meteor.
Huge explosion, loud enough and strong enough to knock the pictures off my walls and shatter the glass all over the place.
What in the Holy Spirit is going on here? He should take them AI glasses and go watch the Grammy Awards and see what happens.
Okay, if you've been following along, you already know that our entire timeline is a lie. But here's what you need to do to actually see the truth for yourself. You're going to have to remove literally 1,000 extra years that were added to our history. We are not in the year 2025. We are in the year 1025. Think about it. Hear me out. Stay with me, please. Everything that we've been taught, okay, about history has been stretched. It's been manipulated and fabricated to cover up what really happened. If you start looking at history through this lens, removing the phantom 1,000 years, everything suddenly makes sense. And we're going to talk about the evidence. Give me just a second. The evidence. The Library of Alexandria and the Crystal Palace of London weren't just coincidences. They were the same event, rewritten and reshaped into separate timelines. Atlantis, Lumira, Tartaria, they weren't different civilizations. They were the same advanced civilization, just renamed and spread across fake timelines to keep us from realizing the truth. The great fires that destroyed entire cities and wiped historical records, they weren't just tragic accidents, they were intentional resets. Every 250 years, we see these massive resets, and we're living in another one right now. Like, right now. And the only way to break free from this illusion is to stop looking at history through their fabricated timeline and start analyzing as if 1,000 years were removed. Do that, and you will start seeing the truth in ways that you've never imagined. Seriously.
They also changed our calendar. The first day of the year is really April 1st, hence April Fool's Day. More than likely just a little Wendigo, bro. Don't worry about it. Keep walking. If it pops out, hit it with that 2-piece combo.
I found it funny how even in his song, Not Like Us, that he performed at the Super Bowl, that all of you were singing, all of you are advocating for, he said this line in his song, and all of you Christians are singing it. All you Christian so-called woke people still mocking Jesus by singing this song. It says, nail a N-word to the cross, he walking around like Tizo. First of all, this is Tizo with a bunch of nails as his hair, okay? That's the guy who he's walking around like. But also, nail someone to the cross is obviously mockery of Jesus being nailed to the cross. Obviously, if Jesus was never crucified and he was never nailed to the cross, this line would not exist in his song, obviously. So y'all want to unpack symbolism? Unpack that. Unpack the consistent mockery of Jesus in his best song that he won 5 Grammys for. I wonder why he won 5 Grammys. I wonder why. Sure, it's a catchy song, but there is still mockery in the song. Nail a N-word to the cross, he walking around like Tizo. I bet you didn't even know that that was in there. And so if you're a Christian and you singing that, shame on you, buddy. Stop trying to defend this. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it.
If you ever run into a shark in the middle of the ocean, the worst thing you can do is to run away from it. As soon as I see this tiger shark, I start to swim away from her, and you can see how much interest she has in following me. As I kick away, she just keeps getting closer and closer and continues following me. When you run away in the water, the shark thinks that you're actually a prey item, which is what causes them to have so much more interest in you. Only animals that are scared of being eaten or preyed upon are the ones that will swim away. Although sharks are smart, they are opportunistic hunters, which means that they will investigate anything as a possible food source. So to avoid looking like food to a shark, you want to make sure you stand your ground and actually make eye contact with the shark. And if the shark is confident and continues approaching you, you want to make sure you place your hand firmly on the top of their head and push the shark away from you. And it is so important to follow through by continually pushing down on the top of the shark's head so that you can guide them away from you.
Petrified Nephilim and Nagamut Fossil University.
This, if you understand the way skin peels and it peels off as it decays, you'll understand this is quite real. And I believe this is actually red blood up in here because it was a red-blooded creature. Look at his neck. This is down where his neck was. You see the red blood here? Here's his throat coming up through. The lips are different than and the eyes, obviously. His little nose is here, and that's about as alien as you get. Now, this shot is showing straight forward. It looks like he has a collar around some kind of a spacesuit or something. Because here it is sideways. Hold on, where did he go? Here he is. You see it sideways? It looks like he's got some kind of collar around his head, and he's got like 2 ears or something. I don't know. And that's where that red spot was in the top. Now, it appears that all creatures are red-blooded, because I'm going to show you another one. It looks like a naga. Now, that's pretty alien to me. I don't see why I should be excluded from being able to post there. I think you should go up there and say, Giorgio, Eric, what's going on, man? What's going on with you guys? I thought you were looking for aliens. They're looking for something, not just to dismiss somebody that has evidence. All right, how about this for an alien head? This is real, and I'm going to show you why I can make those statements. This is up in Washington State. A friend of mine, Kim, has this head. Now, this one I have access to. The other alien one, this one here, this is sold, it's gone. This was Heath Bowman sent me these pictures, and he had just sold it. But
all your computer screens are blue lit. The reason none of them are red lit, the reason none of them pay attention to circadian biology is because that original technology was developed in a government program that Bobby Kennedy knows about, and I happen to know about because I went to medical school at LSU. For those of you who've never heard about Operation Paperclip, you think it's all conspiracy theory. So at Tulane Neurology and Tulane Neurosurgery in the 50s and 60s and 70s and 80s, the CIA started a program there where they would do all these crazy things to monkeys. The CIA wanted to see how they could control things things utilizing different things like drugs and things like that. Where the neurosurgeons got involved, which is my clade, we would drill tops of the heads off, put wires into the thalamus, put electricity in there, and kind of see what kind of behavioral changes we could have. One of the guys that was in that program was a guy named Professor Delgado. When he saw that we could control the behavior with the wired device, he said, what if we do it wirelessly? So he checked it in monkeys and checked it in bulls, and it turned out you can do it wirelessly with RFID chips and semiconductors. Then the CIA took it to the next level. They said, well, since this is electromagnetic radiation, what if we did it through light through screens? And it turns out you can. And that's the reason why all your computer screens have the frequencies they have.
Now, normally, y'all be being messy and y'all be being on beat like Twitter. But today, y'all is quiet. So y'all ain't see one of Diddy attorneys trying to drop out of his trial? That's not weird to y'all? Diddy gotta be eating bitches on the videos. And I mean, bitch, he gotta be eating the out of them. Like, he gotta be eating humans alive, because what could be that disturbing for one of your attorneys, and you got all of that damn money, to not want to represent you? I do not understand. Something ain't right. I wish I could just be like a fly on the wall in the courtrooms and like in the little interrogation rooms and all that, because I really wonder what the fuck going on.
That is pure disgusting. I can't imagine all the satanic crap all the people around him must have witnessed throughout the years.
2024 has shaped up to be an interesting, weird year, and it's still continuing. The following video is from the actual official account of Indonesia's basketball team, IBL Indonesia. On October 5th at a basketball game, they capture a fan in the audience, and it has everybody talking. Some are saying it's a zombie, others are saying it's a demon. Whatever this woman may be, it's odd, it's different, it's paranormal. Take a look at this footage and tell me what you think.
Oh my goodness, man. I feel bad for the people that bought tickets right next to her. Like, that's brutal.
You know how some people say that twins can seem so connected that they practically have their own language? Well, these two did. This is June and Jennifer Gibbons, two daughters of Caribbean immigrants who grew up in Wales. As the only two black girls in their community, they grew up with a lot of racism, which led to their isolation and seclusion. They developed a unique language that nobody, even their parents, could understand. Even though other people said it was a unique language, they said it was simply because of a speech impediment that just kept getting worse. Their isolation deepened, and they eventually stopped interacting with anyone except each other. However, they developed creative outlets such as writing novels, books, and stories. However, their lives started taking a dark turn in 1981 when they started committing crimes like theft and arson. This led to them being detained in a psychiatric facility. They spent 11 years there, during which they were heavily medicated and institutionalized. Also, this picture is actually the movie poster, which he developed this story into a movie, which actually Letitia Wright plays one of the characters. In 1993, they were transferred to a less restrictive clinic, but one of the twins, Jennifer, had died from a heart inflammation. However, due to how sudden and unexplained it was, people often believe that it was tied to a pact that one cannot live without the other dying. June now lives independently on her own quietly in Wales. Their tale remains a haunting exploration of identity, mental health, and unbreakable bonds between twins.
The person in the Airbnb has a pointer, and as you can see, the pointer has spotted me and is not going inside and has been in this pose staring in my window for like 15 minutes, and I feel bad, and I'm about to close my window because he's like, how do I get to that person? Oh my god.
He was standing there like, I'll be watching you eat dinner tonight. I could have sworn he was a statue at first.
The DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen? It's sitting on my desk right now to review. That's been a directive by President Trump. I'm reviewing that. I'm reviewing JFK files, MLK files. That's all in the process of being reviewed because that was done at the directive of the president from all of these agencies.
So have you seen anything that you said, oh my gosh?
Not yet.
Okay. Well, we'll check back with you.
Now, why is she reviewing it? Sounds a little suspicious to me. Like, what's the holdup? Just put it out there already.
What the fuck?
Stop. No,
Stop.
I'm not. I'm not. No. Hell no.
What the fuck, dude?
Bro. They were soaked. See? That was it. That was it. She's crying.
A late-night drive takes a chilling turn as this user encounters something unsettling on a desolate road. In the dim headlights, a mysterious figure comes into view. A woman, soaked from head to toe, standing eerily still by the roadside. The tension inside the car is palpable. A few passengers urge the driver to stop and check on her, but one voice firmly objects, no. As they pass, some notice her odd, almost mechanical movements. She seemed to shift positions unnaturally, from one side of the road to the other. Was she crying, waving, or perhaps doing something far more sinister? The unease grows as the driver speeds away, leaving the chilling figure behind in the shadows. After the video was posted, the internet exploded with theories. Some suggested it was a trap, a ploy used by criminals to lure unsuspecting drivers. Others were convinced it was something paranormal, perhaps a skinwalker, a ghost, or even La Llorona herself. Skeptics, however, dismissed it as nothing more than a coincidence or a stranded hiker. But one detail stands out: her strange, jerky movements and the way she seemed to glide. Livid Linguine later revealed that police were contacted, but the mystery remains unsolved.
One thing I know for sure is you never stop and check. I feel like that was definitely a setup.
As a kid, I remember hearing like, oh, you can't kill cows in India because they think that they're holy or they're gods. And I was thinking like, that's the weirdest thing ever. And then you read your Bible and you're like, do you remember when they worship a golden cow? Like they did that. So like that expression, probably everybody's used it. Holy cow. Holy cow. Nobody even thinks about where that phrase came from. But yeah, like that's the Moloch stuff. It's like, that's why they revere cows.
Back when I was a kid, I would always be like, holy cow. I used to hear people say holy crow as well.
So we just gonna let this shit slip by and nobody gonna say nothing about it? Microsoft just created a new quantum chip called Majorana 1. And what's crazy about this quantum chip is it's a new form of matter. Like gas, water, solid, matter, like matter. So Microsoft, you go from making Xbox, laptops and shit like that, tablets, to creating matter. See, and this is the type of shit I'm talking about. But when you say allegedly that the world is a simulation, somebody looking at you crazy. How is it even possible for Microsoft to create something like that? No, that's a real question. You see, what it is these companies are playing God or trying to play God, and then they get mad when God chastises them. And you know what? Maybe I'm wrong. So somebody, anybody, matter of fact, everybody, enlighten me. Let me know how this is a good thing. Tell me how this is a good thing and not a bad thing. Listen to what they are saying. I need you to search this and see exactly what they're saying about this. Come on back and let me know what you think. Pay attention.
Okay, y'all, so it's a new series out called 0 Day, and this is not a coincidence. Look at the description of this show. Do y'all see what I see? They are literally putting this shit in our face, bro.
Isn't that crazy? This is the vehicle they had in the Soviet Union back in 1917. Doesn't that look like the Cybertruck?
So I used to work for this company that invented a product that kind of goes over your roofs in like a shrink wrap material rather than a blue tarp. So when disasters happen, it's a shrink wrap over your roof. So long story short, they invented the product, had patent, whatever, and had a meeting with FEMA. And so FEMA wanted to put in a order to like collaborate to get an order in. The amount that they wanted every month was insane. Like, these things came in rolls, and the rolls were huge. I mean, like, bigger than me, like 5 times the size of me. And I think they wanted like 30,000 of them. But these rolls were just a white, like, you know, that's, the color was just white. But FEMA was very specific and said that they will place these orders, but they want them a very specific blue. And they sent the owner of the company the exact shade of blue, whatever it was called, the exact shade one, that they must be this shade of blue. So this order and this all went down right after, like immediately after everything happened in Hawaii. Just thought it was crazy. And they're still in the process of working things out. The company had some issues with some overseas lawsuit stuff, but yeah, I just thought it was a little crazy, because why would they want it that certain shade of blue very specifically? And what are they, whose roofs are they wrapping? And if you are going to be helping and saving things, like, why does it matter what color it is?
What? Somebody's in the window keeping up. No, there's not. Don't go nowhere. Stay right here.
One, I would not have left my kids in that bedroom with that window still open. Two, I would not have walked out that door without a gun or at least a bat.
So you're telling me that the Hunger Games District 12 was set in the rural areas around Asheville, North Carolina? You're telling me that the district exploited by District 1 for their coal was filmed in Asheville in western North Carolina. Do you know what that reminds me of? That reminds me of the recent film White Noise, about an airborne toxic event caused by a train crash that was filmed in this town in Ohio. And then literally months later, the exact same event took place in that town. Disclosure is interwoven into all the great works of fiction, both in television, streaming services, books, movies, literally hidden in plain sight.
They have to tell us their plans, but they use movies and books to suppress it as fiction.
Trump just ordered the Justice Department to delete the police misconduct database, and they just did it. Do you understand how the police misconduct database, right, is a federal database where the worst police officers who have committed the worst crimes, who have been, you know, in America, police officers will commit a crime in one police department or one state and then go to another state and get hired. That's a thing. We know that. Okay. Federal police department database, misconduct database has always existed, right? That's for the worst versions of those guys, so that no police department ever will hire them again. Like the worst of the worst, literally any police officer who forces himself upon a woman, gets convicted, makes it to that list. Now that that list is deleted, those same men, now that it's deleted today, those men can go and apply to jobs at any other police department.
Now this is definitely something you don't see every day, a duende in the clutches of a cat. This happened in Ecuador and is actually very impressive footage. Pay close attention to the duende, pixie, fairy, little creature as it fights to free itself from the cat. Unfortunately, the cat broke the creature's arm and damaged its leg, but this brave little creature manages to break free from the cat and flies off at incredible speed. Watch this.
Maybe this explains why my cat is always moving around the house at night. Willow, come here. I want to show the people you. This is my kitty, Willow.
The U.S. figure skaters that died in 1961 crashed while approaching the airport, the Brussels airport in Belgium. The same way that these people passed away last night, approaching the airport, they died in the same way. And get this, literally in Belgium, last night, like after this crash happened, all of the air traffic control suffered a glitch at the fucking Brussels airport. So, yeah, I look crazy because this is crazy. So, all of the passengers from the same U.S. figure skating team that died at Brussels airport in 1961, and then a huge glitch occurs and nobody can land or fly. Was that like a ghost thing? Because last night all these people died in the same way for the same team? Has anyone thought about this? This is freaking insane. Like, I feel like shaky. Like, this is wild.
The reason that you don't know anything about money is because John D. Rockefeller created the education system. And if you'll recall, he said, I want a nation of workers, not a nation of thinkers. So when he created the education system, he made it a one-to-one model. School is the same as a work day at the factory. That's why you go to your 8-hour shift, 7 to 3, 8 to 4, 9 to 5. Only learning things that make you a better employee. Just like basic math, basic reading and writing, his story, how to stay in line, and how to follow orders. Everything that a good employee should know. Totally neglecting things like teamwork, they call that cheating in school, critical thinking, outside the box problem solving, money management, investing, leadership, sales, communication, tax strategy, and the laws that govern you. And anything else that would be useful in the real world. So what we did is we created our own education system where we learn the things that Rockefeller teaches his kids, like estate planning, tax strategy, trust, insurance, annuities, financial literacy, and privatized banking. So if you want to join our community and learn the strategies that we use, comment the word banker and I'll invite you in.
Unfortunately, this is what corporate America wants. The whole system is all jacked up.
You feel like having your mind blown? If not, favorite this video, come back later. But if so, we're about to talk about something wild. What if I told you that everything you see, touch, and experience isn't actually real? At least, not in the way that you think. Scientists believe reality might be more like a hallucination, something your brain creates. And quantum physics might actually back this up. So, your brain isn't just seeing the world, it's actually predicting it. Neuroscience shows that what you experience isn't raw reality, but it's your brain's best guess based on electrical signals and past experiences. So, in other words, what you call reality is just your mind's version of it. And here's where it gets even weirder. Quantum physics suggests that reality doesn't actually exist in a fixed state until we observe it. There's a famous experiment called the double slit experiment. It proves that particles act like waves until we look at it. And the second we observe them, they choose a definite form. So what's that mean? Well, the act of looking might literally be creating the reality, kind of like a dream that only forms when you enter it. Now, if everything we see is just a mental construction, and if quantum mechanics suggests that the universe renders based on observation, some physicists believe that we might be living in a simulation. I know you've heard that. So think about that. What if our reality is coded, like a video game almost, and it only renders what's needed when someone is looking? So, if reality is just a projection and the universe only exists when we observe it, what does that mean for free will? Are we creating reality or just experiencing an illusion? Let me know what you think about that, because this kind of changes everything.
If that's true, then I guess I should start hallucinating being a millionaire and see what happens.
The only thing about a bear, when you skin them out, they look like a human being standing, hanging there.
Yeah, it's creepy when you skin your first one.
Yeah.
Feels a little close to home when you take the fur off of them.
Well, yeah, they do. They look like a human being when you hang them up in a tree. We used to coon hunt, bear hunt, cougar hunt.
Yeah.
We used to go up Meadowline Falls area, chase bear half the night. Or half the day.
Yeah.
I shot my first bear up there in Meadowline Falls area.
Were you scared?
We were used to shooting wildlife, and it didn't bother us.
Yeah.
The dogs would tree them, and we'd get them.
What'd he say he used to hunt for?
Listen, there's something going on in the Gulf of Mexico that I don't think they're telling us about right now. About a month ago, people in the South, including myself, experienced this bright-ass blue object soaring through the sky, and it landed in the Gulf of Mexico. But here's the thing, right? No mainstream media sources have reported on it, right? Only local news networks. Now, my brother-in-law works as a captain out in the Gulf, okay? And he stays out there consistently. And I'm talking about deep out in the Gulf of Mexico, okay? And he actually caught this thing on camera. I even posted it on X when it had happened. But it was claimed to be an old Chinese satellite, right? But if you looked at it soaring through the sky, it looked nothing like a satellite. I'm talking about this thing was huge. It lit up the entire sky blue, and it looked like a giant disc. Now look, I've seen UFOs in my life, okay? Especially going over Denver Airport. It literally cut the entire electricity out to Denver Airport. And this thing did not look like a satellite. I had thousands of people on that post that agree with me. Usually when a satellite breaks up in the atmosphere, you'd see numerous pieces, you know what I mean? But here's the sketchiest part about it, right? He and a couple of other shipping crews actually went out to the Gulf of Mexico where it had apparently landed. He even showed videos of when it happened. And you could see Coast Guard just blocking off that area where it landed. You could see them literally recovering something that was in the water. But it was fucking huge. And this is the crazy part about it, right? Ironically, that exact location is where a mothership was rumored to be. Wasn't specified on what kind of mothership that was, by the way. But here's the thing, right? All of those shipping routes are still blocked to this day. He can't even cross into those waters anymore. And I have hundreds, I mean literally hundreds of videos since that exact day of these bright ass objects shooting straight out of the moon. I shit you not. I even have a video of it literally shooting the fuck out of the moon and coming directly from the Gulf of Mexico. They're definitely not satellites. Do keep in mind, satellites don't go up, down, left, or right. You feel me? They're not any type of aircraft that you can track on radar. I mean, some of them literally go above our atmosphere. You can see how high they are. They're even as bright as fucking stars. And like I said, I have hundreds of videos of them. If you want to see them, I can gladly show you them. But when these things come from the Gulf of Mexico, there's almost always a military helicopter or even a fighter jet following behind them. And these things are fucking fast. I'm talking about they soar through the sky like a rocket. But there's a lot of shipping captains down here now that are spreading the word about something going on out in the Gulf of Mexico. I've gotten in touch with hundreds of crews that have gone out there since it happened. And they can confirm, and they even said that they would go on TikTok with me and do a video. We can do a podcast, whatever it may be, that there is some suspicious ass shit going on out there. I mean, some of them literally even have videos of things shooting straight out of the water. It's fucking insane. And soon I'm going to have the opportunity of actually being able to go out there personally to see what I can catch on video.
Yeah, okay, buddy. I hate to say it, but I feel like this guy might be a compulsive liar. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this one up here. Thanks for watching the episode. Before you roll out, be sure to like and subscribe. And down in the comments, be sure to let me know what you think about these TikToks. Alright, take care out there, my good people, and I'll see you in the next episode.